Welcome to our podcast. This podcast is dedicated to exploring the power of diversity, equality, and inclusion. I'm Bizu, your host, and together we are going to explore the stories, experiences, and strategies that can help us create a more inclusive world. I'm here with Irati, Ro, Ayom, Katarina, and we hope that you are going to enjoy our talk. My first question is dedicated to Ayom. What does inclusion mean to you? What role does education play in promoting inclusion?
Well, first of all, inclusion refers to the practice of creating an environment where all individuals, regardless of their backgrounds or characteristics, feel respected, valued, and fully involved. I think that education plays an essential role in promoting inclusion for several reasons. First is equal access. Education serves as a way to knowledge, skills, and opportunities. By ensuring equal access to quality education for all individuals, regardless of their background, education promotes inclusivity and reduces inequalities. Second is fostering understanding and empathy. Inclusive education exposes learners to diverse perspectives, experiences, and cultures. I think that it helps develop empathy, respect, and appreciation for different identities, fostering a more tolerant and inclusive society. And last one is challenging stereotypes and bias. Education has the power to challenge stereotypes and bias by providing accurate information, promoting critical thinking, and encouraging open dialogue. Education can help dismantle preconceptions and foster a more inclusive mindset.
Thank you so much, Ayum. You have an interesting mindset. Let's see what Katarina has to say. Hello, my dear. Thank you for joining us. My question for you is, how do you think individuals can become more aware of their unconscious biases and how could they overcome them?
It's a difficult question. I think that it's important to educate yourself about various types of biases that exist, such as racial biases, gender biases, age biases, and more. Also, understanding the science behind biases can help people recognize them in their thinking. Another important thing is reflecting on our own biases, thinking about your assumptions, stereotypes, and judgments that may arise in different situations. Considering how our background, experiences, and cultural influences may have shaped our biases. Well, it's a really complicated topic. To be more aware, individuals should seek diverse perspectives, engage in empathy and perspective taking, practice mindfulness to observe their thoughts, actively expose yourself to counter stereotypical examples, also be open to feedback and listen openly. Furthermore, acknowledging that biases exist within everyone, including myself, and taking responsibility for addressing them. The more you learn, the more equipped you will be to challenge your biases effectively. It is a lifelong journey.
Katarina, you're amazing. Thank you for answering. Now, Irati, can you share some practical strategies that have proven successful in promoting inclusion in workplace, schools, or communities?
Welcome. Diversity Training Rocks. It's all about helping people understand different cultures and perspectives, promoting empathy and busting those biases. We want to create an inclusive vibe where everyone feels welcome. Then we've got employee resource groups. Think of them as these awesome clubs within a workplace where people from diverse backgrounds come together. It's like a safe place where we can connect, share experiences, and support each other. Plus, we can even have a say in policies and to make things.
Thank you. Now we have a special guest here. Hi, can you share a personal experience or story that highlights the importance of inclusion in your life or work?
Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me here. Yeah, I can try to share one experience that I have. I was at some point in Italy, in Sicily, in an Erasmus Plus project, and that project was also related a lot to inclusion. We went at some point to a refugee camp in the city that we were in. We were in a place called Agrigento, and we went to that refugee camp to see like the conditions, how the people are treated, and how is everything going there. Like what's a day in their life usually. The idea is that, at least from my perspective, given that I also did that in Germany, compared to that, like the one in Agrigento, it lacked a lot of qualities that the one in Germany had. Because, in Germany, everything was like, new, modern. They had their own beds, they had their own accommodation, they had bathrooms, they had everything. In Agrigento, oh my god, like they were sitting 10 or 15 people in one room. They were drying their clothes on like some rope outside. The place looked like a mess. There was one kitchen for like 60 people. So that's quite bad. And also the people were trying to, like, be happy, be inclusive, be whatever with us as well. But it was a lot, man. Like they had to go through a lot. Like we also interviewed some of the people that went to that refugee camp. I do remember that one of the stories was something about, like, there was this like little kid, like little 17, 18. I don't remember from which country, but I do remember that he had to go from somewhere in the middle of Africa up to Italy, whilst being taken by the Boko Haram. So he had a lot of hardships. He stayed, if I remember correctly, 3 months in a basement, not seeing the sun, because his family couldn't like scrap up like the money to send him to his next destination in the north of Africa. So it was quite a hard story to hear. Also, like the other people, they weren't, like, from the best like background and stuff like this. A lot of hardships in their lives, a lot of unequal treatment throughout all the countries that they have been through. There were some people from Bangladesh that were coming to that refugee camp, waiting for their papers for like months on end. Also, like a guy from Ghana, I remember. He was waiting for his papers for 2 years, and the Italian system like didn't want to give him the papers in time. And like 1 year after, I went there again, and he still didn't have his residency papers. So, there are a lot of flaws in the systems that are governing these sort of things. The people are quite responsive, because like we also interviewed people like that were next to the refugee camp. They were living there, and the people are okay with them. Just like most of the people, because we also obviously had some people that were like, nah, I wouldn't. I remember that there was this question, like, for the people like around, like, would you be okay with your daughter marrying, or like going out with a person from a foreign country? And they were like, no. Yeah. So yeah, it's a tough time that we live in, with like people not being too understanding when it comes to these problems. That's why we need to raise awareness. That's why we need to like do what we're doing, because if we're not doing it, then who is gonna?
But do you think that is the government that is not helping these people, or are the organizations that take care
of them?
Yeah.
I think it's a problem in both, actually, because okay, you can blame the government for like doing this and like keeping them in shitty conditions. I'm sorry for the swearing, in bad
But
conditions.
if they give money and the organization take them away from themselves, I don't know who is the fault of the organization or of the government.
Yeah, see, the thing is that like there exist like refugee camps owned by the government that are
Yeah.
like publicly funded,
Okay.
and there are some that are privately funded. The
Okay.
privately funded ones, I don't know about the example in Italy, because that one was a public one.
Okay.
Like that one was from the government. That's why I'm like talking about
Okay,
it like
yeah,
this. But when it comes to private, it might be better, because usually like in private investments, they try to like make their money worth their time. So that's the thing. Like, at least when it comes to public funding, the government should be doing more, like to help these people. Also, private fundings like need to increase in order to like, dude. They are people. They are humans. We are all here. We are all here on this giant blob that's floating on in space, and we try to be like the alpha species, yet we don't take care of our own people. So that's just like a depressing thought that that needs to change. We need to switch our mentality. We need to like drop those stereotypes, drop these things that keep us down, and like try
Try to understand them, because they
Exactly.
are not doing for fun; they are doing for to live.
Exactly. Like, dude, like you have people that like that guy that I was talking about. You have people that didn't see the sun for like 3 months, that were leashed into like a basement, and you just don't care. That's not a governmental problem. That's a mentality problem, and we need to switch that mentality as soon as like if we want to survive for a longer period of time as a species, not like as individuals, me, you, and the other people. That's the thing. Like we need this togetherness. We need to go through these hardships together, not separately. We need to be a like part of each other's lives, not apart from each other.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes us strong, being together and being in an inclusive state of mind and being good to one another. I know it sounds very hippie, but
No.
you know.
Sounds right.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
Now, Ro, can you please answer the following question? How can leaders and decision makers drive change and foster a culture of inclusion with their organizations or communities?
So, leaders and decision makers play a crucial role in inclusion, because they need, well, like we said before with our special guest, we don't really know if the problem is the government or other organizations. So I think they need to do like to provide diversity and inclusion training. So the leaders should invest more in comprehensive training program for employees to make them understand the diversity, inclusion, and they need to create initiative that can help to create awareness. And I think leaders should communicate a clear vision that they have about inclusive culture, and they should actively seek different opinions and challenges and to encourage open dialogues, create safety spacing for sharing ideas and different perspective. And I think we need to remember that building an inclusive culture required an ongoing commitment and effort from the government, from the people, from the community, for organization, and is crucial for leaders to listen, to learn, to adopt, and to constantly and continuously reinforce the value of diversity and inclusion with the organization, with the community, and with all the people, I think.
Okay, guys, so that's it. Thank you for joining us on this journey of inclusion. We hope that you liked our podcast, and see you another time with other ideas. Bye.